comes into play. So we talk about a population that one would say is woke. They call themselves that. A population that is asking for, that is demanding that things be done a different way, constitutionalism, rule of law, and as well as a youth vote that is out there and demanding certain things. As we talk about 2027, there is all this to think about, because politics will not be played as has been played before, because you're dealing with individuals who, when you talk about Shah, like you've said, they will take you through the numbers and tell you, I'm sorry, but it did not work. We did not experience it. You talk about the roads, you talk about how many kilometers have you constructed? Is it factual? Again, last week numbers do not lie. There is what the president says, the economy has improved. But in the economic survey that has been released by a government body says things are not as the president is telling it. In 2027, politicians, are they looking at a changed or a different voter who's looking at things critically, or it's just an assumption that things remain the same?
I think the voters are very informed, and the voters are very bold, and the voting environment is very different. Sun Tzu, the battlefield tactician from ancient China, famously said, as rule number one of war, that you do not fight the last war. If you fought the last war and you won using certain methods and certain tactics and tricks, do not assume that you are going to fight the next war the same way you fought the last war and expect to win. You are fighting in a different battleground. Even if the space is the same, the moments have changed, the times have changed, the combatants have changed, the ammunition has changed. There are so many things that have changed. If you look at today's press again, you can see one of the papers saying Kangata is saying, I will not vie on a UDA ticket in 2027 polls. And you remember that the president, when he was then a deputy president, was very laudatory of Irungu Kangata. He was talking about how he was a very truthful individual and how he would vote for him. You can see they're saying also in this space here, Ruto admits Mount Kenya headache in 2027 polls, and he hopes that he can go there and preach to them. I don't know whether it's a new gospel or the same old gospel. They say that if you are tenacious, that you could change the other person's mind and get them to do what you desire of them. I doubt very much that that is going to work. And this, again, is for the entire political fraternity, both those in the opposition space and those in government. I do think that the room exists for the wild card, the unknown factor, because there's a sense in which the country continues to be subjected to legacy politics. Legacy politics that makes the political space a very noisy chamber. You could almost equate it to a lunatic asylum, where the lunatics are screaming at one another, screaming invective and screaming unprintable things that even have got to do with people's body parts, the same way we used to do when we were little boys and girls growing up in the estates of this country. And the younger voters, the younger population, which is the majority, is placing before them statistics. The younger people, the millennials and the Gen Zs, are placing before you statistics. They're saying we don't like this finance bill because of the following factors. They are even translating the finance bill into their mother tongues and sharing with those who may not be as sophisticated and saying this is why we don't like these things. So if you are in government, you must respond to those things. Beating them up or shooting them in the legs or disappearing them is not a solution. The more you engage in that, the more you gravitate towards the saying that the Christian fraternity used to say in the early ages of the church, that the blood of martyrs is the seed of martyrdom. So the more you kill, the more you have others sprouting and running against you. The political opposition, on the other hand, as I have said, needs to convince the electorate that it's not another cartel entity in waiting. That it's not saying, when it says that we are the united alternative government, that you are saying we are the united alternative cartel, that they must demonstrate that they are fundamentally going to do something different. Let me just sum that up very quickly. You see, when you listen to the opposition, including the newly emerged one that has broken away from ODM, they are very good with placing their fingers on the problems. They have got their fingers on the pulse of what troubles us. But they need to go a step further to be able to curate that into a statement. What then is the promissory statement? What then is the election question? And within the promissory statement or pronouncement, therefore, again have certain measurable things. And you can loop this back to William Ruto in 2022. He was not satisfied with just saying that he was waging a war against people he characterized as dynasties. He went on to say what he would do, and to say it in a believable manner. He went on to curate, canalize, and package that in documentary evidence or promissory notes that he then took to Makueni, he took to Kilifi, he took to Kwale, he took to Turkana, each one answering local needs. And having done that, he then moved on to certain other demographics, like the youth, and said, I'm signing a charter with the youth.
Women.
I'll do the following things. I'm signing a charter with women. I'm signing a charter with people living with disabilities. As I've said, he needs to be audited on that. But the opposition must come up with theirs.
So then we got to a point where an election then had a theme. And as you said, the last election was one